Live from Fox Providence, this is The Rhode Show, the place for what's hot and happening. You're having fun, eating well, and living life on The Rhode Show.
This morning on The Rhode Show, getting promoted without getting paid for it. What to do if your employer makes you that offer.
Reject it. Plus, as Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 premieres, the stars of the mega hit talk about what life will be like after Harry Potter.
And in the kitchen, we are cooking with One Bellevue at the Hotel Viking, and today we're making stuffed quahogs. You can find today's recipe online now at foxprovidence.com.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to The Rhode Show. It's Tuesday, July 12th, 2011. I'm Danielle North.
And I'm a very happy Patrick Little.
And I'm pretty happy, Michaela Johnson.
Why are you very happy? Because we're together again.
It's been way too long.
It has been.
We went through the whole process yesterday, Michaela and I did, because you weren't here. Oh, you know,
about your vacation and whatnot,
what I did,
and how you couldn't stop texting me while you were away.
Yeah,
and, you know.
Yeah. Pictures from the beach, jealous.
I know. You had a good vacation.
I did. I don't want to rehash it, though.
No,
because,
I know. It's all right. It's all right.
You know, I'm sure people are tired of hearing about me.
Well, it's okay.
Just as you are.
Yeah.
But we're back. We're back at it.
It's great to be back. The band is back together. We had a little cat fight before the show started.
We did.
Just
like any other day.
I was going to say, when do you not?
I know. It's all right. We forgive and move on. You know, I wanted to start off with a little bit of local news, okay? Well, you know, Harry Potter, the movie, premiered. I know, who doesn't, right? But it premiered last night in New York, and the big, opening is this weekend. Right. So it's going to probably be like the #1 movie of the weekend, I would imagine, at the box office. But last night, I was at the Public Library in Warwick, and you got to see this picture here. Little Jacob Milner, 7 years old. Look at that display case there. That is all Harry Potter Legos. 3,400 and some odd pieces. He built like Hogwarts, castle and the room that they eat in. And I don't, I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, so I'm not doing it complete justice. Wow. But a ton of people came out to see his unveiling last night. It'll be displayed for 2 weeks to help kick off the summer reading program at Warwick Public Library. So.
That's impressive.
Yay, Jacob! Nice job.
I was never good with Legos. I mean, sometimes I would just like build them,
like just
build them up,
right?
Yeah.
Like you make
but
your
I would
own
never
thing.
like make some castle or something elaborate. Like
I would get
knew
frustrated.
People who would make the cars and just intricate things. I said I don't have time for that.
No, I would look at the when you get the roadmap, the directions. Yeah. I'd make it to like page 2, and I'm like, I'm just going to make a house. Yep. And I just do my own thing, I
actually find that if I read the directions in the other language that is offered in the directions, that I actually had a better time of putting those model airplanes together.
Yeah,
but,
right.
No, the model airplanes, too, were the one, the plastic ones that you glued everything together, and there's this part A-1 slides into B/2.
I get like a headache. I can't do it.
Oh, man. It just makes you think of, the holidays. Some assembly required, like 3 dirtiest words
I can't
you
do
can
it.
hear around the holidays, but... that's great. That's really cool.
It is cool.
And the library would be a cool place to be because it is so darn hot out.
I know.
Yesterday,
I know.
I finally started cleaning up yesterday from the 4th of July festivities.
Finally, huh? A week later?
The Casa de Little, the compound, which you two were sort of a part of. Not at the house, but we got together and had a good time.
We did have a great time.
But anyway, I was putting away a couple of those bouncy castle water slide deal things that a friend of mine, Brian, let me borrow. I was outside for literally like 7 minutes. I was soaked. I was soaking wet with sweat. I'm like,
tell Michaela what you did, too, after.
I went inside, laid down on the floor next to Cam, on the floor, just underneath the, what's it called?
AC vent?
The AC vent.
Yeah.
Just, there's one
Blasting you.
glass, and then there's one in the kitchen, right next to the sink, that you stand over.
Yeah.
And that just, the cool breeze just shoots right up your back. And I had a skirt on, and it was so cool. And I just felt so, my kilt, but it's just, in other words, so please.
Anything you do to keep cool.
Yeah. If you work outside,
yeah.
I feel bad for you today. We complain all winter long, this weather stinks, I can't wait for, this will be warm. And then we hear it gets warm, like, it's too hot.
Well, it just starts to get dangerous.
Yeah, so just be careful if you're working outside. And the kids, your kids are going to camp today.
Yeah, I made sure.
She's already called the sitter today and get the water bottles.
They need extra water, extra Gatorade, They were complaining yesterday that I didn't quite give them enough. Bad mother.
That's right. Don't leave the pets outside for too long.
I was going to say, my dogs, too, I feel bad. I have the air conditioner in my bedroom because I feel like that's always the worst. I mean, you can't sleep when you're just uncomfortably hot.
Stifling, I know.
And, the dogs come in and they lay on the floor, and I'm like, fine. I welcome them. I'm like, you poor thing. They're constantly wearing a literally a fur coat, you know, so.
We got to take care of our furry friends, too. That's good advice. Lots of water for them.
Don't leave the in-laws outside for too long.
Yeah.
Or maybe you want to. I don't know.
The weather is going to cool off later in the week, though, and it's going to be a perfect weekend. It looks like for weddings. As you know, wedding season's in full swing. And I love this story. Patrick Kennedy is getting ready to say I do. The former Rhode Island congressman is marrying New Jersey high school teacher Amy Pettigrew on Friday. The ceremony will take place at the Kennedy compound in Hyannisport. Now, it is going to be a very small, intimate event. It will be closed to the press. I never got my invitation, which I was very sad about, but Kennedy, since he left office, has been up to some good things. He's been named a visiting fellow at Brown University. He's also campaigned to improve brain research as well. So I wish the happy couple nothing but happiness, you know, and good weather, too.
Looks like a nice weekend to get married.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to do it again, but good luck to them. That's great.
Yeah.
And I think Patrick never seems so happy being out of the. We've
It's
talked about
great
this
to
before.
see that, yeah.
Now that he's out of the public spotlight, I think he's
just enjoying
finding peace in his personal life, which is good.
All right, we've had a great stretch of golf weather, of course, around here, and a group of veterans took full advantage of the weather yesterday at Ledgemont Country Club. This was a great event. A Day of Thanks tournament was held yesterday, benefiting Wish for Our Heroes, a program to honor the wounded soldiers of our military. Each group paired with a wounded veteran. They even found a celebrity to sing the national anthem. A guy by the name of Bruins fans, you'll know this guy well, Rene Rancourt. And he sang the national anthem before the festivities at Ledgemont Country Club yesterday. So great day yesterday out on the course. As you can see right there, that course is in beautiful condition. I speak from experience. My buddy Todd over there, the pro at Ledgemont, kind enough to let me go over there and hack up the course every once in a while. So that's pretty cool. I'm really glad that we got over there yesterday for this event, and it was nice that Rene Rancourt got to come down and sing the national anthem.
Absolutely.
They were trying to get the Stanley Cup to come down as well. Ross Brooks is a friend of Todd's. Ross played for the Bruins, has a lot of connections with the team, but the Cup is now on tour.
Right.
You know,
I was going to say, may be coming in September. I think we ran a little story on that.
To Providence, we'll see what happens with that. But for now, each player gets a day with it.
Yeah,
that is
so
funny.
That's always so fun to see what they do.
Yeah.
The Jello molds and the
They
whole
take
taking it to bed,
swimming pools, and they take it to all sorts of fancy places to get the picture taken with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know where it is now. I think it's out in Western Canada right now. I think it's starting out there. It might be in Europe with maybe Dennis Seidenberg, the German player.
I'd be afraid. If I, with my day, just nervous, something might happen to it,
With the cup, you'd probably...
Kids get, like, sticky fingerprints all over it. I'm like,
They pour a lot of adult beverages into that Stanley Cup when it's on tour. And
so it's already sticky anyway, so... All right, so American Idol, we've been waiting to hear if J-Lo is going to return. My vote is it's going to happen.
Of course.
So, yeah, it looks like she's going to be back for season 11. She's expected to make an announcement in the upcoming days. Several reports claim Lopez will indeed be returning, but Lopez herself has still dodged the question in recent interviews because she's holding out for more dough.
Yep.
Steven Tyler and Randy Jackson have both signed on, which the season kicks off in January right here on Fox Providence.
Great gig if you can get it. What do they pay her? About $10 million a year to sit
Yeah,
at the judges' table
apparently
and
not
critique people?
enough for her.
Imagine just one of her paychecks. Just one. Think about what it would be.
Yeah, retirement.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
It's a year. It's $10 million. It's like $800,000 a month.
Oh my gosh.
Sickening.
Just piddly income. I couldn't survive on that ever.
Better things to do with. What's her husband's name? Enrique Iglesias?
No! It's Mark Anthony. Enrique.
Oh no, he dates Anna
tennis
Kournikova.
player,
Anna Kournikova.
Get your celebrity straight there, Patrick. All right. Let's head over to Courtney to see how things are going on this Tuesday morning. Good to see you again, Court.
Yeah, welcome back. Gang's here again, of course. We're here in the New England Tech Center, live blogging. A bunch of us are on foxprovidence.com right now. And imagine having an old stash of photos that you've been holding on to and then comparing them to how the world looks today. Well, now you can do that online with History Pin. The site is based on a giant map where thousands of photos are being pinned to and stories behind them shared. You can search it not only by place, but also by time. For example, you can find photos of the Brooklyn Bridge in 1899 or Soviet soldiers in Red Square, Moscow in 1969. Or in your own area if you want, say in, I don't know, all the way back in 1910. You can even compare the photos to how the world looks today with Street View to check it out. This new site allows you to explore the world's history and then add a piece of your own. Photo archives at the New York Public Library and the Chinese Historical Society of America contributed more than 48,000 photographs already to the project, and the current tally is more than 51,000 photos and growing. So they've all been pinned and tagged on Google Maps at the location they were taken. So be sure to check it out, add some photos and stories of your own, and that's History Pin on Google. For now, we're going to head into the kitchen with Patrick. I think I can smell what's going on today already.
You can. We have, this is great. This is Chef Kevin from One Bellevue at the Hotel Viking joining us this morning. Good to have you back. Good to see you again.
How's everything?
It smells so good in here. Good. You have stuffies with you this morning. And I don't know what you put in the ones that you've already cooked up, but whatever you did, I like it. So what do you have over there?
We have some chorizo that we're going to saute in the pan here. Some garlic, onions, bell peppers, jalapenos, and then I put some marsala wine in it, clam juice, and then panko crumbs to make those stuffing.
Now, there's so many different ways that you can put together a stuffy. Why did you choose this, or do you have different, is this kind of like the flavor of the month type of thing, or do you switch it up all the time?
We like to stay local and have like a Portuguese twist on our stuffies. So, I mean, it's the biggest appetizer seller in a restaurant, so that's why I decided to do this today for you guys.
Now, where do you get these stuffies?
These quahogs are right from Newport. We get them, shell them, we crush the meat up, and then we make our stuffing every day.
So, I mean, it can't get any more local than that, right there.
Right on shore.
Right on, oh, it's beautiful. All right, looking forward to putting these together and really looking forward to trying them. I hope you brought more than I see here, because Danielle and Michaela and Michelle, Courtney have no shot. They're going to have to arm wrestle me to get these out of my hands today. Thanks, Kevin, for coming in this morning. Recipe ingredients online at foxprovidence.com.
All right, Patrick, thanks. Well, this morning on the job, as the economy starts to improve and those annual reviews come up at work, employees may be hoping to take their job titles and salaries to the next level. But according to a new survey, a promotion might not go hand in hand with a raise. And joining us this morning with more on that is Ryan Sutton, your senior regional manager for Office Team. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you here. All right, so we were kind of joking about this. If it happened to you, you know, just flat out reject it. But obviously, in these times, it might not be the smartest idea. And I guess you guys found that 22% of hiring managers said it's somewhat common for people to get a promotion without a raise.
It is, and honestly, it's really because of the economy, and it's also because companies in general are looking at the overall benefits package, and it's coming out of the recession. A lot of companies are really trying to keep expenses in line, and salaries might not go up.
All right, so what is the advantage then of somebody saying yes to that? Is it just to build the resume, to increase their skills? What would you say?
I mean, what's interesting is while 1 in 5 managers said it's common not to give a raise, 55% of employees said they would consider a raise without a base increase. So, a couple reasons why. One is when you think about the career path and you look kind of 3, 5, 10 years down the line, to get the responsibility and to update the resume could put you in a great position down the line.
And I would imagine, though, instead of a raise, there's other things that you might be able to ask of your manager in lieu of that. I mean, what are the things that are reasonable that somebody could suggest?
Well, I guess what I'd start with is, rather than just not accept the raise, like make sure you talk about compensation.
Right.
Because, if you are getting a promotion, it's absolutely appropriate to talk about compensation and talk about, well, if you can't give me a raise right now, when can we review compensation?
Right.
So make sure you ask for a 3 to 6 month compensation review. But beyond that, you can ask for telecommuting. You can ask for increased vacation. Some companies offer stock benefits on the equity side. So there's some different things to look for.
So it might not be as bad as you think in the beginning when you hear the words no raise.
Correct.
Now, what about if you don't get that raise right away? When do you think is a good time? Is there a better time of year for somebody to say, how about a little more money?
There can be. I mean, some companies are cyclical, but the best thing to do is to try to time any kind of a compensation increase to when the company's performing well.
Okay.
The worst thing to do is if your company's laying off and they just reduced workforce, now's not the time to talk compensation.
Right. Okay. Well, we appreciate all those tips, and we want to let our viewers know for more information about all the things we just talked about. You can find the information at foxprovidence.com. And now we want to get a check on the weather this morning. Michelle joins us now with more on the Triple H weather out there.
That's right, hazy, hot, and humid weather on the way for today, Danielle. We're talking about temperatures in the 90s this afternoon. Let's start it off on our city cam where we've got some haze out there. Sun's trying to break through it, though, and it's going to continue to Come on out as we get into the later part of the morning and afternoon. It's a hot one. The record to beat today, 95 set in 1908. And I do think spots are going to make a run at it. I'm forecasting highs at the airport where our records are kept to be about 92 or 93 degrees. So just under that record. But certainly the combination of the temperatures and the humidity will make it feel like it's the mid and upper 90s. Satellite and radar, you can see the clouds moving out. A little weak disturbance came through early this morning and sparked a few isolated showers and thunderstorms. There's a cold front sitting off to our west today. That front's going to approach for this afternoon and this evening, and an isolated thunderstorm is once again a possibility, but the majority of the day looks to be rain-free, a high around 92 degrees at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and 90 still at 5 in the evening. So the beach is a nice place to head for a little bit of relief. It's still kind of cloudy and foggy there early this morning, but we'll get back to some hazy sun and the air temperature there at about 84 degrees. Water temperature is running in the low 70s. Load up on the sunscreen. Save sun time only 15 minutes. I'm going to talk about when we'll cool things off coming up a little bit later in the show. Michaela?
Thanks, Michelle. Lotions, potions, and creams navigating the beauty world, well, can be overwhelming. So especially when it comes to pick the best methods to maintain your look. But here this morning to explain threading and how it works is Priyanka Tara, owner of Smiley Eyes Eyebrow Threading, along with our model Teresa. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. So tell us a little bit about what threading is.
Threading is an ancient method to remove the hair from the follicle, and it is the fastest and the safest method to remove the hair, and you get the accuracy, which is very important. With wax, I don't think so you would ever able to get that. So this is the safest method to remove the hairs.
So that's probably why most would pick threading over waxing. You're more accurate.
It's 100% natural. We use 100% cotton antibacterial thread, and which is really safe for your skin. So you are not damaging your skin using any hot wax on your skin. And waxing causes premature wrinkle. It damages your skin.
Oh,
so
good to know for all you ladies out there who are still waxed. You might want to switch over to threading. Now, in terms of pain, is this a pain-free process?
I would say it is less painful. Definitely it is.
Okay, Teresa, what do you think? You've had this done before. Do you think it's definitely all right? She's agreeing that definitely less painful. So you have a demonstration here that we're going to see some threading. So
this is my help, Alka. She is going to show how she does the threading.
Okay, right, so we're going to see how this whole thing works. All right, so we have the thread here, so you're going to do a demonstration for us. Can you talk us through this, kind of what she's doing?
Yeah, she's going to use 100% cotton antibacterial thread to take the hair out from the follicle.
Okay.
And you can start. And because with the threading, you can get the result, which is symmetry. Symmetry is very important for your face.
Yes.
And it is very accurate.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. It's quick, too. She's removing it.
It is really quick. It is quick. It takes 2 to 5 minutes, and you're done.
And now is she just holding her skin taut there just to get as much as possible? Very nice. Can this work on all skin types too?
It works on all skin type. If you have dry skin, any skin problem you have, it works on that because it's 100% natural. So it's not going to cause any damage to your skin.
Wonderful. It's safe. It's pain-free. I don't see why you're not all doing this right now. I know I get my eyebrows threaded, so maybe more if you will. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. To learn more about threading, head to foxprovidence.com.
All right, this morning we're talking tech, and I've all of a sudden have an eyebrow complex. So cover them up. Stick around, ladies, I might need your help. We all know there's an app for just about everything, but how do you know which apps are the best? CNET.com's Kara Sobey reports on the top 100 apps for Android phones as selected by editors from the website.
There are tens of thousands of apps in the Android marketplace, but 10 CNET editors have each chosen 10 of their favorite apps to whittle that library down to a manageable top 100.
They're allowed any freedom they want what to choose. So the nice thing about this is you see different personalities come out.
CNET senior editor Kent German placed an app called Read It Later at the top of his list of 10 favorites.
It's an app that lets you save all of the articles you see when you're browsing on your phone, puts it in a queue, so when you go back and you want to look at everything you saved, you can read it wherever you want.
As an avid traveler, German also selected a variety of vacation planning apps like TripAdvisor, Flight Tracker, and Kayak.
Once you plan a trip, everything from flights, hotels, car rentals. Save it in one place. You can have it on your phone, and then it can alert you when your flight's delayed, things like that.
And when you're on vacation, German says you need a good photo app for customizing your camera phone pictures.
You can change the orientation, you can turn it black and white, you can actually use it a little like Photoshop. So I use one called Camera 360.
And you can find the full list of top apps on our website, foxprovidence.com.
And still to come this morning on The Rhode Show, we're back in the kitchen with One Bellevue at the Hotel Viking making those stuffies. You can find the recipe right now at foxprovidence.com.
Plus, should babies have to exercise in order to fight obesity? Some officials say yes. We're going to talk about it next in The Buzz. You're watching The Rhode Show here on Fox Providence. We're back in just 90 seconds.
Get 'em.
Yeah.
Welcome back to The Rhode Show. This morning in The Buzz, all right, we all know how important exercise is for us as adults.
It is?
It's a given. Patrick, maybe you should walk further than the mailbox. But now, in the fight against obesity, the British government has issued some guidelines that now show exercises for kids under 5 years old, even for infants. The new guidelines say that kids that can walk should be active for at least 3 hours a day, though that includes playing and walking to school as well. Not surprisingly, it also suggests that parents limit the amount of time that kids spend in front of a TV or strapped in a stroller. But get this, they say even infants need to get 3 hours of exercise. The guidelines suggest babies do things like playing on their stomachs or have swim time with their parents. Researchers say that the younger a child is active, the less likely they will become obese adults. What?
I completely
3 hours of exercise for an infant? Give me a break. Don't you think, Patrick?
What'd you say?
I said I agree with this because
I want to hear from the person who doesn't
have a kid. How are you going to exercise a baby for 3 hours a day?
Well, it's just, being active with them.
Okay, yeah, we have to work.
Hey, baby, grab some dumbbells and start doing curls. No, it's just being active with them, and you think of all the benefits.
Hey,
baby. Why don't you get on the treadmill, baby?
Is this a date or a child? Hey, baby.
No, but think of all the benefits of it. Just having kids be active in general. They become more aware of themselves and their
emotions. A baby's not going to know the difference, though.
But think of the things that you learn when you're really young and you carry them through subconsciously almost throughout your life. So I feel like early lessons will.
Michaela, I find this insane.
Down.
Okay, I've had 3 kids. Can you imagine, parents? Just hear me out for a second, okay? When I had my third child,
start it with a hey baby.
Hey baby.
Hey baby.
When I had my third, and I had another one who was 3 and another one that was 1. How the heck am I going to exercise my little one for 3 hours a day?
I bet you were active with them without even realizing it.
No. That baby was swinging away. That baby was sleeping.
That's it.
I was on the internet goofing off. All right, can I just chip in here?
No.
Having a newborn at home.
You don't exercise Cam 3 hours a day.
Listen, Cam is training for the Rock and Roll Half Marathon. No, honestly, yesterday, all those things you just talked about, he did the tummy time thing for a while with me, and then he went swimming with his mom. Okay.
He wasn't going like this.
But the point is,
right? That's not exercise. When you're holding your baby like that in a pool.
No, it wasn't that. He was kicking and doing the backstroke.
You are such a liar.
Okay, but the point is, I agree with this. Yeah. Kids, there's too many kids these days that are different from when we grew up, and I say we. Grew up at a different time than you. Okay, but the point is that there are more obese children now than there were when we grew up because kids are too stuck in front of the smartphones, their computers, the internet, the video games, and on and on.
Part of it is our fault.
But I agree.
Because it's too easy.
Which
but
is
the whole
why
infant thing is my debate. It's crazy to be like, okay, you're out of the womb, let's go run.
No, she doesn't. It's not that excessive.
It's just being active and getting them moving.
And I think the government should stay out of it. But I think they should do a better job of calorie counting for kids' food at school, which I think is important. But exercising the kids is important because if. I don't know. Yesterday, my oldest was played outside for a lot of the time. Then he had 2 hockey games at night, and anything you can do to keep him away from the computer. And hey, baby, that's what you need to do.
Baby, grab some dumbbells.
I know, right? And get some leg weights while you're at it, because your legs are getting chunky, you little 3-month-old. No, babies are supposed to have baby fat. That's what I'm saying.
But we're not saying shred them down. We're just. I think it's just more like
shred them.
Shred them down.
Okay.
That's
shred.
That's gym lingo for low body fat.
Shred them down, baby. All right.
See my tricep?
Yeah, can you imagine them posing for this 1-year-old photo like this?
Oh.
Give me the
Get
tricep.
me out of it. Courtney, get me out of this.
Me down,
hey, baby. What's going on in the
I don't think I
tech
can
center?
save it today.
I don't think you can, Court.
I was just talking with the bloggers. You know, my daughter is 11 months old, almost 1. Not exactly walking yet, but I'll tell you, for someone who doesn't, she doesn't sit still. So I do think she's getting plenty of her own exercise, if you will, kicking around and zooming in her little walker. Here's what some of our parents on the live blog have to say on foxprovidence.com. And Army reservists said forcing children under 5 to exercise is crazy. They are active enough. It's up to the parents to monitor what they eat and when they eat. He also thinks that parents should obviously set an example. Jerry said, let kids be kids. They will have plenty of time to exercise when they start school. And Jean said it's not regimented exercise some kids need. It's a better diet. Too much junk food. So here's the poll underneath the live blog. Do you think children under 5 years old need exercise guidelines? A, yes, it'll help prevent obesity in kids. B, no, they get plenty of exercise playing. We've gotten a couple of comments on our Facebook page so far, and this one's from Kelly Hyatt. She said, since when does a child under 5 stop moving? Craig Willette says, yes, take them away from the video games, bring them to the park, and let them run around. He's actually the only one who agrees with this. So if you're on Craig's side, we'd love to hear some more of what you have to say. You can join us on Facebook or the live blog, or you can just vote in the poll, and we'll have that for you at the end of the show. For now, we're going back into the kitchen with Danielle, and what are you cooking now?
All right, Chef Kevin here from the Hotel Viking, and he's sharing his recipe for our stuffed quahogs, whatever, however we want to put it, stuffies. We'll just keep it easy. Right. All right, so this is a nice chunky kind of flavorful stuffing we have here, right?
A lot of flavor in it. The chorizo and the Madeira gives it the most flavor.
So you have a lot of vegetables that we need to saute up. What do we want to start with?
Garlic.
You want to scoop that up? Yeah. Okay. All right. What is this, a couple of cloves of fresh
3 cloves of garlic.
Okay.
All the oil from the chorizo is going to saute with that.
Yeah.
We're going to add some onions.
Okay.
We have red bell pepper.
Little green.
Yep, green bell pepper.
Okay.
Some jalapeno for some heat.
Nice.
And then you could put a little bit of parsley in there.
I was going to say, do you want the whole thing?
Yeah, not the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Now, do you want to get this down to like where the vegetables are really like, you know, soft, or do you want to keep them a little crunchy?
Kind of a little crunchy because we're going to put them in the oven again, and then they're going to cook through. So
okay. This is a lot more color than I've seen in a typical kind of stuffy.
Right.
Yeah.
And most people don't use meat or chorizo. We do it for extra flavor.
Yeah.
And works out well.
All right. Well, we'll keep that sauteing, and then we're going to try to get these together. I know Patrick loves these things, so I'm going to have to fight my way in for one, and now we'll send things back to you.
You are exactly right, Danielle. I do love those things. Still ahead on the Rhode Show this morning. Hit the road with your family this summer, but before you do, find out the deals that won't break the bank. Plus, should students be able to borrow more money for their student loans? Our expert will talk about the pros and cons.
Head to foxprovidence.com now and click on the Save Now Providence link for the Rhode Show Deal a Day. Every morning we'll offer you an incredible bargain on things you'll love. Today's deal is from Smiley Eyes Eyebrow Threading. You can get a $10 voucher for half price. Check it out and sign up for more deals right now on foxprovidence.com.
You're watching The Rhode Show on Fox Providence.
Today in higher learning, with many college students scrambling to find the money they need to complete their education, a new proposal suggests increasing the amount of federal money students can borrow. While federal loans carry many benefits for students, there are some who are concerned that pushing young people to borrow more money is a bad idea. Here to talk about it is Peter Kerwin from the Rhode Island Higher Education Assistance Authority. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning.
So why shouldn't we allow students to borrow more money?
Well, look, the short answer is that even if it's the federal government doing the lending, it's still a loan. You have to borrow, you have to pay the money back at some point in most circumstances, and that's the real issue here. There was a story, kind of a paper put out recently by an assistant professor at the University of California, Irvine, and a former writer for the New York Times, a guy named Jonathan Glader. And the title of this paper was "The Other Big Test: Why Congress Should Allow College Students to Borrow More Through Federal Aid Programs." And the argument he was making was that since those federal loans have the most generous terms, repayment provisions, let students borrow more of that kind of money because it's going to be more beneficial to them. Now, obviously, we've talked about that. I'm a big proponent of you know, federal loans are better than private loans, obviously, because they do have those generous forgiveness provisions, forbearance, that just don't come with private loans. So, and right here, we're always telling people max out on those federal loans if you can.
Right.
But the flip side to all of this is the notion that if you do that, you're going to be encouraging students in some cases to borrow more than they necessarily have to. And there's a guy named Zach Bissonnette. He's a writer for for the Moneyland blog that Time magazine has. He also wrote a book. My wife read it. It's called Debt Free You. You as in university.
Okay.
My wife said, you got to read this. We've got a 14-year-old daughter. You got to read this book. And basically his whole take is, don't borrow any money to go to college. I mean, he's from a totally different approach. He's saying you shouldn't borrow at all.
I feel like that can be tough. You know, school is very expensive. Is that realistic for students to slack off on borrowing? And
well, the case he makes, and it's a pretty compelling case, is that, you know, if you're going to have a dream school that's going to require you to get into so much debt that graduation, those years after graduation, are going to be just all about paying back, paying back, forget about that dream school. Go to a state school. You'll get just as good an education, and you're going to be taking less debt to make it happen. And that's a really, you know, that's an interesting argument. And I think there is a lot to be said for being realistic about what you can afford. Because too many times we see kids taking on this mountain of debt, and then when they get out of school, you know, they're not able to take the job they want because it won't allow them to pay back the loans in a timely way. Right. And what Bissonnette's big argument is that if you're paying off debt right after school, those are years you're missing to be paying towards your retirement, you know, which you really need to start thinking about.
So you got to start weighing the pros and cons. Peter, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
No problem.
And for more information on federal student loans, head to foxprovidence.com.
Today in Going Places, those summer road trips are the quintessential family vacation. But before you head out on the highway, you want to find the best deals, right? And Travel Zoo's senior editor, Gabe Saglier, has some tips for summer savings on the road. And Gabe, before we get to all the deals, you have some great tips for traveling on the road to get the most out of your journey as well. What do you got?
Yeah, make the best out of the time you've got, and of course to try to save some money along the way. Number one is planning. You know, I've always been a fly by the seat of my pants kind of a guy. I wasn't into planning until I took my first cross-country trip with a 1-year-old and a dog. So plan ahead. That means, you know, you want to really route your trip and even look at alternate routes because of, you know, long construction projects or weather issues. Obviously, look at weather outlook on a daily basis as you're on the road because that might actually tweak your itinerary a little bit. And build in extra time because of the delays, because of that unexpected side trip that looks really good all of a sudden when you're on the road. Give yourself some cushion. You don't want to rush your way through the trip because it's not just about the destination, as you know, it's also about the journey.
Absolutely. All right, now let's talk about some of those drivable deals you have for us. First up, Philadelphia, which isn't too far away from Rhode Island, so what do you have there?
Yeah, I'll be about 275 miles away is what I'm thinking, about a 5 or 6 hour drive. I've done this drive, you know, obviously during the summer months. It's a great time to check out some of the jewels up and down the East Coast. And so if you do a 5 or 6 hour drive like this, I'd suggest building at least one stop in there, maybe in upstate New York or in Westchester County. And you know, do a little bit of lunch, do a little bit of sightseeing, and that really stretches out your day a little bit. But then by the time you get to Philadelphia, great deals to be had, particularly during the weekdays. There's a place called the Radisson Plaza Warwick Hotel, historic, upscale, beautiful property, $125 a night with free valet parking. So if you're doing a road trip, not having to pay for parking is certainly a nice treat.
All right, another great deal you have for us is in D.C. That's really a great place to visit, especially for people with families. So what kind of deals have you found there?
Well, certainly, you know, keep in mind that much of what you get to do in D.C. is paid by our tax dollars, so by the time you get to go to the 19 Smithsonian Museums and all those landmarks, they are free. And of course, as Congress goes on vacation over the summer months, we see great availability in D.C. hotels. The Ritz-Carlton there in Pentagon City, which is about a 10-minute underground ride into downtown D.C., $169 a night. That's 50% off to stay at one of the more luxurious properties there in D.C. You're looking at about a 400-mile drive down to D.C., so you might consider maybe 2 stops along the way or maybe an overnight stop on the way, maybe stopping by the Big Apple before you get down there just to sort of give yourself a little bit of extra breathing room.
All right. Now, next up, Niagara Falls. It used to be a popular honeymoon spot, and it's still a place on many people's must-see lists, right?
Certainly, a lot of people's bucket list, and of course the summer months are the best time of the year to go. If you some of the better deals happening on the other side of the border, by the way. So if you look at the Ontario side of of Niagara Falls, bring your passport with you, or now they're issuing these passport cards, which make the driver kind of the size of a driver's license, makes the drive across the border just a lot more time efficient. But you want to, again, I'd build in at least a day here, do a couple of stops before you get to Niagara Falls. It's about a 465-mile drive, but you can find some great deals right on the falls. The Marriott Niagara Falls Hotel, which is just a hop, skip, and a jump from the falls, $140 a night over the summer months with breakfast and dining credits and casino credits as well. So some nice deals to be had, again, especially on the Canada side of the border this year.
Yeah. All right. Well, great deals as always, Gabe, and happy traveling to you. For a link to these deals from Travel Zoo, thank you. Head to foxprovidence.com. And coming up next on The Rhode Show, it's the dog days of summer.
Aww.
Today, we're checking out pics of you and your pet enjoying the summer heat.
And later, we're back in the kitchen with One Bellevue at Hotel Viking making those stuffies. Smell so delicious. Find today's recipe online right now at foxprovidence.com.
You're watching The Rhode Show on Fox Providence. We'll be back in just a minute.
It's the end of the road for Harry Potter and crew as the 8th and final installment of the franchise hits the big screen. The blockbuster movie premiered last night in New York. The stars of the beloved series say they're sad to move on, but excited as well. Anita Vogel has a preview.
The boy who lived, come to die.
Ready to cast its final spell on millions of fans worldwide, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 brings the beloved franchise to a conclusion. And for the actors who grew up on screen, saying goodbye will be the toughest role of their career.
Join me, Harry, and confront your fate.
I can say goodbye. I'll be saying goodbye at the London and New York premieres. You know, that will be a fitting send-off, I think.
You know, I feel really sad and kind of nostalgic about all of this coming to an end, and it's been such a huge part of my life.
I did find it hard kind of moving away from this. I did feel a little bit kind of lost without it.
Oh.
And I will miss it, and I do miss it now, but yeah, looking forward to moving on as well.
Find him, we can end this.
After 8 films and 10 years of packing theaters, the series has become the highest grossing in movie history, with the last book being split into 2 features. And when Rupert Grint had to lock lips with Emma Watson, it was literally like a long kiss goodbye.
You do it.
I can't.
Yes, you can. Just the thought of kissing Emma just seemed just so wrong, really, in many ways. And yeah, but it was. I mean, it's been this moment that's kind of been building up for so long, and it's very kind of anticipated, I guess.
You'll stay with me always until the end.
All good things must come to an end, but a new chapter is beginning for its stars, who are growing up and venturing on.
I'm really excited to go and put everything that I've learned into practice, into something else. Hopefully, that's great. It's really motivated me.
I think it would be wise for me to avoid any wizard roles, I guess. Anything kind of magical, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not really sure kind of where I'm going. I don't have this kind of plan. It's just yeah, I love acting and being on a set, and I want to keep trying to do it.
I've got a film coming out in the early part of next year called The Woman in Black, which is a gothic horror film, and I think is really going to scare people. And also I play a father, and so it's like a step forward for me. I'm playing slightly older than I normally would. So yeah, it's an exciting sort of period in my life.
Only I can live forever.
And the last installment of the Harry Potter films hits theaters this weekend.
Time now to go inside the Rhode Show inbox, where you, the viewer, can submit a question or photos to the Rhode Show. And now that we're in the swing of summer, the dog days are here again. Our viewers are embracing the season by sharing summer photos of their 4-legged friends. We are emailed this photo of her pooch Simba via our Report It feature. Simba is from Pawtucket and is enjoying his day by the pool. I don't see any other way more fitting to spend some time off. Oh wait, every day is vacation for a dog. Patty Martucci's dog is a bit different. In the warm weather, Patty's dog likes to go for a ride. Her name's Emily, and she's almost 12 years old. Martucci's adopted Emily from a local pound 10 years ago. And check out this little fur ball. This here is Ginger. And according to her owner, Letitia, Ginger loves to float in her pirate ship around the pool. Pugs of the Caribbean. Although, something tells me Johnny Depp may not want to challenge this cutie. What better way to enjoy the summer than by enjoying some downtime? And that's just what this kitty intends on doing. Viewer Jean Sadler posted this photo of her sister's cat on our Facebook page. Doesn't look like this feline likes her picture taken. Us humans like to beat the dog days of summer by hitting the beach. Just look at the crowd at Roger Wheeler State Beach from over the weekend. It was a gorgeous day, and everyone chose to cool off the same way. With all the crowds, it's amazing some folks found room to build sand sculptures on the beach. These awesome works of sand were created at Second Beach in Newport. These masterpieces could definitely win an award. Great job. And I couldn't resist. I wanted to share with all of you how my little girl Chloe beats the heat. Here she is making a splash in her new pool. She loves the water and is more than happy spending the dog days of summer in a bathing suit. And summer is a great time for us to see what our Roadshow viewers are up to. Thanks for sending those photos in, but you can send some more in of what you're up to this coming weekend at the Roadshow at foxprovidence.com. Back over to you.
All right, One Bellevue at the Hotel Viking is with us here in the Roadshow this morning. We're going to stuff our face with some stuffies. Stay with us. All right, you know what? Let's skip the cooking process and just eat. Let's just start it up.
All right, let's do it.
Can we do it reverse? Let me eat, and you guys can do whatever.
All right.
No, Chef Kevin was just telling us that Andre Agassi was at his hotel down, excuse me. Let me try that again. Andre Agassi, this is a big pan. Andre Agassi was at the hotel this weekend, right? He was inducted into the Tennis Hall of Fame.
That's got to be a thrill for you to, you know, make a couple meals for him. And
what did he like? What did he eat? Do you know what his favorite dish was?
Oh, he was in for breakfast late at night too. So
yeah. Did he? I mean, is he like a healthy kind of eater in the morning, or did he eat like?
I'm not really sure because he came with a lot of people.
Yes, you don't. Anyway, but it was cool. You got to have a little
stargazing or whatever.
Probably Eggs Benedict. I mean, when in doubt, just go for the Eggs Benedict. All right, stuffies this morning on the menu.
Yep.
So we've already got.
We have the chorizo. All the vegetables are in, and now we're gonna add that Madeira wine.
Oh, I saw a little flame there.
Yeah.
And our clam juice.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
That's why she's wearing an apron.
That's okay.
So you get this a little warm, and then we're gonna add our panko, which is which makes the stuffing.
Okay. Right.
And then we stuff the stuffies, and then you finish them in the oven for 10 minutes.
When do we add the clams, Kevin?
Yep, you could add them
right now.
Yep, you could add them right now.
And this is just some minced clam here. All right.
And the best part about these stuffies is there's really not a bad thing about stuffies at all, if you ask me. But these are local. I mean, they catch these literally. You can see the ocean where they're catching these clams,
it's
and
right from Newport.
And they're right to the restaurant, and then prepared right away.
Yeah.
Should I put the whole thing of panko in there?
Just about half of that.
Half of that. So how much are we adding? About a cup or so?
Yeah,
or?
a cup and a half.
Okay. All right. How's
you
that?
could do some more.
A little more?
Yeah.
Not good at judging by the eye there.
That's
there we go.
And then you mix it up. We can actually probably add a little more.
Yeah,
you can judge, see if it's a little wet.
Okay.
So this is going to suck up all that juice, and then you stuff your clam with it.
Okay.
Just like that.
These are nice size stuffy. Look at that, Patrick. Are you like so excited to eat this today?
These are only $4 at the restaurant.
$4?
Yep.
Oh, really?
$4 each one.
Wow.
Monday through Friday we have happy hour from 4 to 7, and these will be $2, half price.
Heck yeah,
really?
That's great.
Well, you have happy hour every day down there in the summer.
Yeah, we have appetizer specials.
Everybody's happy in Newport.
I know.
It's like happy hour starts at 11 in the morning.
All right.
So how long do those go in the oven for?
They go in for 10 minutes.
Okay.
I have some ready.
What are you going to the fridge for there, Patrick?
I'm looking for some hot sauce.
Oh,
there we go.
There you go. He's not messing around. This is his breakfast here.
If you're gonna have stuffies,
you got to do the hot sauce.
Well, I mean, you don't have to, but you know, when you Chef Kevin, I mean, it helps, right? I'm sure a lot of people.
If you like hot sauce, you have it. I have a little lemon aioli here too that I'm gonna put on top, and that's a mayonnaise-based sauce with lemon, a bunch of different herbs.
Okay.
That's what we put on it at the restaurant.
I missed the how long you have them in the.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Okay, 75.
Because the stuffing's hot, you just want to crisp up the top.
Right.
And then we put a little bit of our lemon aioli here.
See, that would be a meal for me. 2 of those, done. Glass of wine, done.
Glass of wine without the meal.
Glass of wine, done. No, it's great
garnish,
though.
Parsley here.
Nice little light meal.
And that's it.
How pretty is that?
It's easy
Patrick's
to make.
gonna like devour it now. Add the hot sauce.
Yeah.
Go ahead. There you go.
You gotta
get it to your liking. Kevin, anything else you want to let us know about? Any specials?
Yeah,
anything
we have our rooftop deck opened up, and it's packed every night.
I bet.
Mention that you saw me on the show, and they'll give you a free sangria complimentary.
Did you hear that? Okay, so you just have to say, I saw Chef Kevin making the stuffies, free sangria. Does that work for me if I go?
That works.
All right, free sangria. Sounds good. How is it, Patrick? So good, right?
I'll be right with you.
All right. Thank you so much, Chef. We appreciate it as always.
Kevin. Thank you very much.
It is going to be super hot out there today. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be flocking to the beaches, Newport, etc. Right, Michelle?
Well, you know, even in Newport, it's going to be fairly hot today once we get through the haze and the clouds that have been hovering around there this morning. Dry skies, though, after an early morning thunderstorm. Top weather headline, we definitely have the 3 H's in place today. Hazy, hot, and humid. We do have a small chance of a thunderstorm. It's nothing to cancel your plans over, but just keep an eye to the sky if you're out and about today. The humidity, well, we're finally going to drop it down, but not until tomorrow, Wednesday on our hump day, followed by some really nice weather for the end of the week and the weekend. This afternoon, low 90s for highs, isolated thunderstorm possible, still around 90 degrees at 5 o'clock in the evening. Futurecast starting it off at 3:30, a mix of sun and clouds. Now, our computer model's keeping it dry, but this would be the time, say from late afternoon into early evening, where we could see a thunderstorm pop up. By 10 o'clock in the evening, it should be all gone. Skies are partly cloudy overnight. There may still be a little bit of fog developing in the morning on Wednesday, and then we should get back to some sunshine mixing with clouds once again. And late tomorrow afternoon or evening may once again have an isolated thunderstorm pop up in our area, but overall Wednesday, most of the day is dry. Down to the south coast for today, we're looking at a high temperature, 87 in Newport, 90 in Wickford, 85 Charlestown, about 88 westerly, 90 Hope Valley, low 90s in Coventry, and I'm thinking low 90s, even some mid 90s, places like Burrowville, Johnston should get up around say 91 to 93 degrees, Cumberland at 92, hazy, hot, and humid, that isolated thunderstorm, and we'll see a partly sunny sky. Hazy sun in New Bedford, 92 in Plymouth, 91 Seekonk, and mid to upper 80s Middletown and Little Compton. On the bay, visibility is a little down because of the haze. Winds make a turn from the southwest to the west at 10 to 20 knots. We've got waves at 2 to 3 feet. High tide early in the morning at 6, low tide 11:14 this morning. The fog giving way to some hazy sun at the beach today. The air temperature right along the water should be about 84 degrees. The water temperature 73. We've got a safe sun time of 15 minutes for you. 7-day futurecast. Another hot one tomorrow, but the humidity is not going to be as high. Again, an isolated thunderstorm. Rest of the week, a gorgeous stretch of days on the way, starting Thursday, lasting through the weekend with highs in the low to mid 80s, nighttime lows in the 60s, and the humidity should be nice and comfortable as well. So hang in there, some relief on the way later this week, guys.
All right, still ahead on the Rhode Show. We're going to check back in with your web poll results. We're talking exercise. We'll be right back. Time now to check back in with today's web poll results.
So we're talking about this new study, I guess, that Britain has. It's in a new campaign to fight against childhood obesity. So they want children under 5 years old to exercise every day. So we asked, do you think this is necessary to have those guidelines? And 88% of you said no. These children get plenty of exercise playing, while 11% said yes, if it'll help prevent obesity in kids, why not? So I think it's a good thing to keep in mind. I don't know if we need guidelines.
Yes, I agree. As long as they're active, staying healthy. Back over to you.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby. Sun's out, guns out.
All right. Coming up tomorrow on The Rhode Show, we'll have some ways to beat the heat, from new recipes for refreshing summer cocktails
to a craze that started in Hollywood and it's making its debut here in Rhode Island. No, it's not a blockbuster movie. It's frozen yogurt. We'll bring you the swirly goodness of Pinkberry.
Yes, opening up at Garden City. Very exciting. All right, we want to thank you for joining us on The Rhode Show here on Fox Providence.
For more information on anything you've seen here on the show, just head to our website, foxprovidence.com.
We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Have a great day.